Hi. If you've purchased one of these transparent cases for your Arduino Uno, or if you're thinking about it, I think there's some useful information to know ahead of time. So, for one thing, the Uno, because of the holes, it will fit only one way on the bottom piece. So you just have to make sure you line the holes up, and then you can get it set on the bottom piece, and then put the plate on this side. Depending on what knockoff board you bought, this may or may not require some adjustment in order to fit your board. So for instance, on this particular knockoff board that I have, the acrylic didn't fit on this side, so I took a Dremel tool and I sanded this side right here of the acrylic so that I could fit the power connector in there. So that was not the case with another board that I have, which fit just fine in there. So depending on whether you have a genuine board or a knockoff, or which knockoff, it may or may not require some sanding or some adjustment in order to fit your board. There are plastic spacers that come with these kits, and the spacers go between the bottom of the board and the bottom piece of plastic, so right here. So the spacer fits right in between those two. It's really the only way to make it work, because if you try to put it either on the nut side or on the head of the screw side, you're not going to have enough threads on your screw to fit. So the spacer goes between the board and the plastic. And you'll have 4 of those, but a word of warning, if you're working on this, you don't want to be working over carpet, because if you drop one of those, you'll never find it. Another thing that was a little bit frustrating was that the screws that come with the kit, the head of the screw is actually smaller than the hole in the Uno board. So if you try to put the screw in with the head on top and then put the nut on the bottom, the head of the screw will just go right through the board. And again, that wasn't true on another board that I have, but so depending on which knockoff you have, or if you have a knockoff, then the screws might need to be put in upside down on the board. When I purchased this, was that I wanted to use it with a shield that I have, and I wanted to put the shield on top and just have the Uno self-contained. But it turns out that the shield doesn't fit. So the bottom of the board of the shield won't go down far enough to allow you to seat the pins all the way into the header on your Arduino board when it's in the case. So this really isn't something you want to be using if you're using it with a shield. It just doesn't work. So why use this thing at all? I really don't know. The only thing I can figure out is that it looks pretty, I guess. But as far as function, it's really doesn't have any real function, unless you're concerned about the bottom of your board grounding, shorting out on a surface that you're working on. I haven't had that happen before. I don't think that's really an issue. So I really don't see any purpose for this, and I'll be taking mine out and probably throwing it away. They're cheap, but they just don't have any function.